Mm. Whoops.
Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're all doing very, very well. As you see, I'm back into the cold that we were out in last night. It was blooming freezing in that investigation last night, but we're home and, you know, all nice and warm. And tonight we have Jennifer with us from PIH USA. I keep catching my earphone lead in my foot. I think I pulled it out twice.
Your foot.
And I keep catching my lead in my foot then. That's really good. Just before we came on, Jennifer was doing some accents.
I was having fun.
She's kind of why.
I'm not as good as I used to be. I mean, but if I get going, and if I hear them long enough, I can copy them.
Right. Well, you should actually get in the street and try and copy them and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So as I said, so you can just Jennifer and myself tonight. We've had a very busy week with Rosie Cardy and her partner Andrea all week, and we were out and about every day practically. And so we're all kind of knackered. You know what I mean? There's Laura and even though.
Hey, Laura.
So, everybody's kind of knackered, but it's been a while since we had a catch up with Jennifer because I don't actually know what she's been doing. She's been doing stuff.
Been working.
Been working. Have you got an accent there? Been working.
I've been working. I've been working a lot and trying to stay healthy. I have a bit of a cold.
I saw your snow. Was it last week?
Let's see. Last week there was snow. The week before there was no snow. Then the week before that there was a whole bunch of snow, and yeah, and now it's kind of clear as I look out the window, and it was hailing and raining earlier.
Right, it was nice last week actually. With Rosie and Andrea from Southampton, so they usually get quite good weather. I don't think they've ever seen snow. So we were I checked the forecast. It came up on Monday, and I checked the forecast for a few days before that, and what have you. And
my dog. Okay, that was only one dog. Come on. This is the other one.
By the way, Rita, what was wrong with my dancing last night? What was right there?
This is pineapple.
That's right, your dog called Pineapple, isn't it?
Yes, this is pineapple.
It was some size.
Yeah, she's half pity and half Ridgeback, and maybe something else. They both are.
A bit blended in, but everything blended in, you mean?
Except for she wants my attention very badly, so she's being a bit of a kind of a 4-year-old.
We've got 2 cats, and one of your cats is the male cat. We got a male and a female, and Toby, that's his name. He's murder comes up and just plonks himself down, and he'll just not leave you alone. You know what I mean? And sometimes he's cute. You know that when you're in the cute mood, but other times you think, you don't actually throw them, but you want to throw, you just going to just go away, give me 5 minutes peace. I think it was last week, the week before, he constantly followed me about. Every time I looked down, it was at my feet all day, and I just couldn't get rid of him, What was the sky about the weather? So we were kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you think Pineapple's funny, I have Maui for the other dog. So we have Pineapple and Maui, and then we have Spencer, Loki, and Banshee for cats.
Who makes up the names?
Spencer came with his name. And Pineapple and Maui is what they were calling him at the shelter, so we just kept them. But I came out with Banshee, and my son came up with Loki.
Loki's Marvel films.
Loki for not for that. Loki, he was named Loki after the actual trickster god, not from the Marvel god, from Loki from Norse mythology, not Marvel.
What's your dog doing? Says he's trying to eat somebody or something.
Okay, they are trying to play in my room. Ouch! No, we're not doing that in here. Go. I'm gonna throw something at you. Go. Get.
It sounded like they were trying to eat somebody.
Oh, they do that. They'll get at each other and then they'll get very vocal. And it takes me having to do that to get them to shut up.
Right, so fortunately your cats are quiet. Well, Toby can kind of, hi Nigel, buddy. Toby can meow quite a bit, especially in the mornings. He'll meow.
Oh, we used to have a cat named Toby a long time ago.
Well, it was the wee one. She wanted to call him Tobias.
Good name.
But we thought, well, Tobias, imagine shouting Tobias all the time. So it was, I don't know who short one is. Sarah, the wee one,
no, I
shortened it to Toby.
No, Toby's good. Toby's a good one.
Which is a lot easier and it's a lot cuter. Sort of thing. But what was I saying? I've forgotten what I was saying. So they were up, so we were kind of dreading what the weather was going to be like because it's Scotland, obviously.
Sorry, I'm coughing.
And there's Rita's other half in. I was going to say better half, but I'd get into trouble for Rita if I did. Hey, anybody? I have one called Midnight. It's when you get, I don't know over there, but it's in Glasgow, you get these dog owners and they get these big like horse things, these Great Danes and all the rest of it, and they go, Titan, come here. They all be called Titan or Zeus or something like that. Zodiac, and you hear them in the park. Zodiac, get back here.
No, I don't think see, never had anything that strange as a name, but
come to Glasgow then.
We had a dog called Dakota Rain. We had a dog called Aries. Let's see, I had a cat named Maeve. As in Maeve, Maeve. And we had a cat named LaFay and a cat named Esbeth.
I had a friend in Glasgow years ago and he got a dog. I don't even know what kind it was. It wasn't all that big, but he called it. When I first saw it, he says, this is Trojan. He's called what? He says, I called him Trojan, like the horse.
I have something that's really entertaining. I have to share. Because, okay, except for my dog.
Your dogs are really listening to you tonight, isn't it?
They want to not listen. I'm going to kick him out of the room in just a second. No, my cat Banshee was in the bathroom and she goes in there just meowing like crazy. My husband, who never ever tells me that there's a ghost in the house or something, he comes out and he's all, I think your cat has a ghost in there or something. And I'm like, no, she just likes the heater and she wants you to open up the door so she can go sit on the heat. And he's like, are you? It's like, yeah, but she won't shut up. She's in there. She's still yowling. I'm like, yeah, hence her name. Banshee.
Is that what you wanted to share?
Well, considering that I did investigate it, I did just to make sure that no one was crazy, and no, there was no ghost or anything in there. But she has been. But my cat tends to lend herself to, hey, you need to come into this room because there's something not quite right, but that hasn't happened in a while. But anyway, it was really funny that my husband who went the whole, hey, guess what? And I'm like, no, you never do this ever.
But he decided to do, bless him.
I guess so. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, he'll take me in places and he'll support me and we go do stuff, but he never once offers that as an explanation.
Maybe you're turning them now.
I don't know.
Maybe you're bringing them over to our side.
Well, he's He is my behind the scenes and help out person. He's and if I told him whether he likes it or not, he's an unofficial member, whether he likes it or not.
Aye, so if you're listening to this, John, you're unofficially official. If there is
No, he's
such
not
a
going to listen to this. He's at work. He's working today.
so I need to shout louder. Anyway,
No.
I shout louder right here. You tell me what's your back. You see, you're an unofficial official, and see if we can, figure that out. But say it in a Scottish accent.
I don't know if I can do that in a Scottish accent.
Try it.
Oh
Go on.
Lord, I don't know. Damn it! You put me on the spot.
I know. I know. I like just dropping things on phone.
I don't know. How about I just come up with any accent and just go with it? How about one of those?
No, how about a Scottish accent? Since I'm Scottish.
You want to be? Say you want to the you? Aye.
Aye.
Because you're Scottish. You want me to do? I can't do it. It's hard right now. I'm dropping into English, and I can't get back to
Scottish. Don't drop in next. Stay in England. Stay in Scotland.
I'm trying, but I have ancestry in Scotland. I have ancestry in Ireland. I have ancestry in England.
All right, just say it in an accent, then I give up.
Okay, being unofficial. So he's a. So my husband is being more of a unofficial. He's a official but unofficial member of the paranormal and history, and he doesn't even know it yet.
That was Irish, wasn't
it? Sort of, but I'm also very congested, so it's very hard.
Bless you. That's it.
It's not the best Irish. I have done better. That's weak. Ugh, that is so weak.
I think actually was it Sarah's over there, by the way, folks, you haven't talked to a door or a window or something. Was it during the week I tried an Irish accent? I don't know. I tried an Irish accent. I'm sure it was when Rosie was here. And I just could not do it. I just totally flopped. Totally failed. Which brings me to an interesting question for you, Jennifer. The apps, all the app for Nick 40, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever had any accents coming through?
Oh, on my not on any of the apps, but on my recorder, I've had not just me, but my other people I've been with. We've had not just accents. We've had actually languages. We've had Chinese come through. We've had not quite we're not sure where in it was a Hispanic, but we're not sure if it was a Cuban or it was a Latino or something, but we couldn't tell where it was from. It just sounded Latino or Hispanic in nature. But we've had and then we had German. We did have German, but none of them ever spoke any English. It was just in their language.
Well, Laura said it was Rosie's birthday last Tuesday, so we did a live. Just a wee sort of birthday live. It was on the live last Tuesday. What she thinks is when I tried the Irish accent. No, that's because we use the Necrophonic quite a bit. And on several investigations.
I'm glad I can understand you, because it's like if I didn't know you better, I would have said that you had dropped all your vowels in that one sentence. You say quite a bit. You have this like drawl, but I've heard you for over how many years now? So I'm used to the way you talk.
So I dropped my vowels.
Aye.
I dropped my. Oh, I said we use the Necrophonic quite a bit.
I don't like using cell phone apps or any type of app like that. I have found too many false negatives. I'm not saying that anybody else has the issues I have, but they just make me uncomfortable that I'm going to get too many false negatives, and I just don't trust it, because even if you put a cell phone on airplane mode, it still can be affected. There are still other things and other out there that can still affect your phone.
No, we use the Echo4. We have done since day one, practically. Like I said, the apps only have an American accent, but a lot of times I hear Scottish accent. That's what I mean. Thanks, Eric. A lot of investigations
I don't
we
even know
do.
what the heck you're all talking about. Never heard of
What?
that. Never heard of what you're got. If you're putting it in that language, in that way, I have never. I'm like, what the hell is that all about? No clue. Sorry. When you say like the app, when they're saying that app has an American accent, I mean, are they listening to you in that accent? I don't understand because I don't have any apps like that at all. That tell me they just. I have translation apps. I have that, but that's about it.
I think you'd be cross-wise. What I mean is we use the Necrophonic app all the time.
Right.
And
But I don't understand. Why would it, if it's an app that's been developed by someone who came out and has some kind of input on your something that you can download, what? See, that's where I'm confused.
so am I. I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I'm very confused because I guess I don't understand the because I mean you're saying the app comes out in an American accent, but it shouldn't matter whether or not you have an American accent. If there is a language or if there is a Ghost, a Spirit, a Spectre, it doesn't even matter if you use like you guys use Necrophonic. If you use a recorder, it should not matter what you're using. That accent should still come through. Regardless, it still should come through because they're using it. The theory behind it is that they're supposed to be able to use it as a helping device to help push through. So when I hear things on an app and they're using the same word or the same, say it's all male, say it's all male voices, and they're using that as their voices, that means you have no idea what they're saying except for they're in that voice. So you don't know if they are Hispanic or if they're a different language or a different ethnic background. But if they really do come through, and I have had this happen, they are going to come through with that accent, and it's going to it should mess up your app.
Right. Well, I think we're on the same chain line now because we've had a lot of Scottish accent coming through, and quite a few people spoke to me, mail me, and says, you know, I've never heard that in an app before. I've never heard a strong Scottish accent.
As I said, that's the only way I'll take it as verbatim, as in it's real, because it's now coming through as something that the app should not be able to do.
But that's what I was asking, because we've had it quite a lot.
No, I don't like using apps. If I'm going to do something, I have a recorder. I have a recorder, and the recorder comes back, and I analyze it from there. It's actually more authentic.
So last night we done Loudon again. We done it Monday night, and it was an amazing night. It was fantastic, even though I'm saying it myself. And then last night we did Loudon again, and I was very broad Scottish accents coming through, and we go that on Monday night as well. And they say, some people mail me and say, I've never heard that come through an app before. How can an app do that? Blah blah blah.
The app doesn't do it. That would be the Spectre.
It can't do it. You know, it can't do an English accent, a French accent.
Not unless actually there are a couple of apps out there that are designed for that specifically. They do have those, but they're in trial form and they're being tested, and they're not conclusive. Those actually have a lot more false positives than anything.
Laura's going on a recorder as well. It was a brilliant night last night, and I don't know, for some reason this week we were doing it on Monday night, and I don't know, Rose and Andrea arrived on Monday night, so we're heading over to Loudon. But we're going to do the farm as well, but the owner of the farm says, you know, can you give it a miss tonight because there's something strange going on up here. There's a kind of atmosphere going on up here. We can't put a finger on it, and the other guy that lives there, he wasn't too well. So he said, so he said, right, that's fine. We'll give it a miss. We'll just go right to the Kirk. But the girls had me chasing the moon on Monday night.
That would.
Because it was a red or an orange moon, and they try and chase the moon so they could get photos. And so, see, up at the farm, there was something weird going on. And then down at the Kirk, we had quite an unusual night with activity, with tons of activity going on, and through the devices, through the necro. I've done the blind spirit box as well, and I quite a wee bit. I get strong smell of perfume as well, but only I could smell it. Nobody else.
Now, when you smelled the perfume, did you announce it to everyone, or did you allow them to see if they smelled it before you said anything?
When I can't really remember, I had the blind.
The reason why I'm asking is because if you smell something, perfume in this case, and you say it aloud, all of a sudden, everyone who you're with automatically, whether they mean to or not, start smelling the air. And sometimes it can cause a oh shoot, I can't remember the name of the effect, where all of a sudden, whether or not they really do smell it or not, sometimes the brain remembers smells of certain things and then they think they're smelling the same thing you're smelling. But if you don't say it and all of a sudden somebody else smells it and then all of a sudden you guys are saying it, but you're saying it at different times, there's no influence.
No, I need to smell it. I smelled it 4 times, 3 times when I was blindfolded, and then I moved over to another section of the cut. And I was saying, I said, it was really strong. I said, can you not smell that? And nobody else could. We can't smell anything.
No, I'm just saying it's one of those things that people do test.
The power of suggestion.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of things like, I felt a cold breeze, and all of a sudden everybody now is feeling the cold breeze. It's just one of those things to get in good practice of. It's how I was taught that you have it. You don't say it right away. You just, log it. You have it in your memory. And then when you go back afterwards, you start saying, okay, this is what's happening. This is what happened at this time. But when you start putting it out there in the world, it can have a diverse effect of other people. Not necessarily that they will, but it is a more chance that they could start smelling it, even if they didn't mean to, or maybe and it's just one of those things I was taught that you don't do. And a lot of TV shows do this. Oh, I heard this. I'm like, yeah, I heard this too.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm not saying that that's not how it happened with you. I'm just saying I see a lot of the same happening, and a lot of people end up going. It ends up being
Well, Laura saying that I didn't need to disclose it when I was doing the blindfold, but I do remember standing with blindfold on, and I could smell the perfume, and I told one of the girls that came over and stood beside me. And I thought, well, I don't know if any of them wear perfume. And then I got another twice when I had the blindfolds on, and then took the blindfolds off. I went over and stood beside the rest of them, and I got it a few minutes later. It was really, really strong, and I said, "Can nobody smell that?" And no, we can't smell anything. Okay. But it was
something
weird.
to practice with.
Said
sort of, but there's another name for it. Pareidolia, yes, is where our brain is trying to make sense of what's happening, because I guess you could say audio pareidolia, seeing a city, all that. But there is an actual another name for it. And I can't remember what it's called. So if you're out there and you can Google it, because right now I'm not very good at Googling lately. There is an actual name for this effect. I just can't, and it's not. Pareidolia is, I guess, the best way to describe it. But there is another name. I promise you, there is another name.
I just found it really weird, because we've done Loudon, I don't know, numerous times, and I've never had that before. And I thought, why am I the only one that can smell this?
And if that's the case, that was only meant for you.
And it really, it didn't really annoy me. I don't mean as in anger wise. It just, I kept going through it. Why am I the only one that can smell this perfume, and
Because it was only meant for you. It wasn't meant for anyone else. That's why.
Well, saying that, I mean, it's going to sound big-headed, but everything at Loudon seems to point towards me. Even last night, it was coming through. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was Laura's voice recorder, the necro, but they were saying that, yeah, we like Scotland, stuff like that, you know, and so that seemed to be quite popular at Loudon for some reason. Somebody's coming in your house.
I don't know. They heard something and they took off. Could be somebody outside.
Or the dogs.
Got kids across the street that like to play.
Would they come into your house and stuff?
No, they just play really loudly and the dogs can hear everything.
Oh, right, got you now. The dogs pick up and they tend to go nuts at times.
They pick up and they can't always hear.
I've seen that before, the dogs go nuts. But no, it was really, last night was, I've got an itchy back. I'm trying to scratch it with my pen. In case you're wondering why.
You're going to damage yourself.
I'm ready to damage us. I'm a bit late for that. Damage myself. But it was some of the, it was good because with Rosie and Andrea, and they witnessed as well. I know we've talked about Loudon on many a show and what have you, and it was good to have other people there as well that actually witnessed it. The biggest thing for me through the investigation was we get the word marbles twice. And I left the marbles just before Christmas, and I asked, what gift did I leave? What gift did we leave for the kids? And it came back, marbles. Queer as a bell.
Interesting.
I'd like your thoughts on that, because I know you, well, the same as I, you're big into debunking and what have you. How could you debunk that one? Because you know you're going to get skeptics who'll say, oh, you know, X, Y, and Z and all that crap.
I'm just trying to figure out why that word.
It's an unusual word to come through.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's through, and it was on command. As soon as I asked the question, we go marbles.
Not necessarily unusual for the area, I don't think. Were there any? I can't really debunk it right now because, one, I don't know the history of the area, but knowing the history of the game Marbles and how old Marbles is, it could refer to the game. It could refer to anything at this point, something that is relevant. But if that still comes through, that's very unusual. It's kind of hard to debunk something that is unusual because it doesn't usually fit the frame. That
was just what Laura said. We'll get that in a wee second. The history of the place is the Dempster family, they're buried in the Kirk, but they worked at a local farm, which we've been up and down to. We did an investigation there last year, and Sarah and I, it was an old barn, one of the old barns we were sitting in, and Sarah and I heard at the same time what can only be described as a marble rolling across the floor. Obviously, we checked outside and that, and we spoke to the owner, and he says that bit you were sitting in was where the kids used to play. So
it could have been easily. It could have been the game, or it's hard to say. One, I'm not there. I'm only going by what I know of because that's where my brain went. My brain went to the game of marbles, and if you heard what distinctly sounded like something rolling across the floor, like a marble, then it could. Who knows? It could have been marbles. It could have been the game Skittles. That would be disturbing. But yeah,
Skittles was that again?
Skittles. That would have been an interesting way. The game of Skittles.
There's a former housekeeper. He Rosie. Hi, Rosie. Glad to get home safe, dog. And you had a brilliant week with us here in sunny Scotland. And It was no, it's just because it was mere confirmation for us when we go to the word marbles, because that's what we left, a couple of months ago. And then
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to just comment on that, on the Brún. Isn't that the name for brown in Scottish anyway, or in Scottish Gaelic?
The story behind that is up at the cottage, up at the farm, there's a kind of half circular wall. So I asked last night, I say the spirits over there that we've been up at the farm, and I've got a question for you. There's a round wall at the rear of the farm. Can you tell me what was behind that wall? And it came back sheep, which was right. That's where they used to keep the sheep there. And then I says, well, can you tell me, what colour were the sheep? Because the guy up there has got black sheep and he's got, I'd say, white sheep, whatever. I said, can you tell me what colour the sheep were? And he came back straight away, Brún. And I don't know, a wee while later, I said again, I've forgotten what colour the sheep was. Can you tell me again what the colour of the sheep was, please? And it came back again, Brún.
Interesting. Because, that is the variant of, because that's brown. I know that it's brown, but how many people do you know that still use that term for brown?
I use it. It's Brún.
Okay, but everyday use, besides you. Does anyone else use it as a constant?
No, that I know,
Okay.
No, I know.
As the reason why, because maybe that might hint to location of where that said spirit is from.
And that's where they were from. That's where they lived, and that's they worked the farm.
Right. Maybe
I call the Dempster cottages. The real Ladyton farm was called, but we call it the Dempster cottages because that's where Mr. Dempster, who's one of the spirits there. That's where the family all lived.
Well, what I'm wondering is, originally, not necessarily where he was working or where he came from, but like you have a distinct way of saying things. I love this. So that means if this spirit, if it's a male or whatever, use a similar word that you use, but not everyone else uses it, might hint to his actual location where he was originally from.
It was from Dumfries.
Not there originally, like born.
Aye, that's where he came from. He was from Dumfries and he moved up here.
Yeah, but where in that area though?
I don't know whereabouts in Dumfries, but that's where he was originally from.
But that is how you actually can pinpoint certain things, and because you have a word, obviously, that's very specific to.
A lot of people in Scotland still, they say Brún when they're talking, especially in Glasgow area, places like that.
Right. What I guess what I'm saying is, say in the United States, we have certain things that have certain words that are very regional. They're in areas. So if that is, even though everyone else has heard it, everyone else uses it, this person in this region used it then, but when they move, they continue using it. But now it's over in this region. So, but words can actually help pinpoint a region of where someone is from originally.
But all we know is it was the Dumfries area, and I used to deliver down there. So, to the best of my memory, they're very similar to the way we speak because it's only about an hour away from where we are. So it's no a major distance.
True, or it could be further. It could be anywhere part of the northern area, depending on how thick did it come through. I'm obviously I was on there, so I have no idea how thick that sound or word came through.
It was very thick.
Then it was so it sounds probably more northern based, probably.
But then it could have been one of the farm hands as well, because they started working the farm that came from this area. But it was just it's just one of these answers you get on commanding. You kind of knocks your boots off for a minute.
No, definitely. When you get something that's unusual, that especially when you have all this coming through. Yeah, if it's definitely, I would find it unusual for that to come through.
It was very broad Scots, like broader than the Ayrshire accent. So, as I say, the Ayrshire accent's a bit softer. It's the only way I can think of describing it.
No.
But it was kind of harder than the Ayrshire accent, kind of thing.
Oh God, there's people from New York that I have a hard time understanding sometimes, and they're on the other side of the country. So,
look at the size of your country.
I know it's large, but anyway, I have with that, I find it very significant that you'd have Brún as your word that comes through. Is very significant, I think. At least I would think.
I'll tell you something even weirder, my dear. That's my Scottish there. That's wild. I'll tell you something.
I think your Scottish accent's getting thicker the more we talk.
I think I've got quite a good Scottish accent. I think anyway. We were there Monday night as well, and Rosie was asking if the spirits could tell us our names. One of them said Scott, and then she asked, "Can you tell us Scott's second name?" And it came through Mathewson.
Nice.
Everybody heard it. Now, we don't use our second names on investigations.
Not
we never have. And it came through Mathewson. And that was, I don't know. I can't explain that one.
No. That just means, that just kind of goes with my other theory that they're out there, they're listening, they know, they talk to each other. I have a feeling that whatever world of unseen that we don't know, how much do they talk about us?
Well, see, it's funny you say that, because that's what Laura said last night. We were getting several voices on the record for it, but it sounded like they were in the background. And as Laura says, it sounds like they were talking to each other.
Yeah, if you're getting that, then yeah, that kind of goes with my theory, and I'm not the only one who has that theory. I mean, if you have it, I mean, I have stuff that I can't explain. I'm like, why does it sound like they're talking about us or me or something? I feel, because you know when someone's talking about you and you're like, you turn, you're like, you know that they're just talking about you, but as soon as you turn, it shuts up.
You know that. Shh, listen, she's listening.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation a few times, and the physical.
Right.
But that's what I said. We had that at Caldwell also a couple of years back when we did Caldwell. It was as if there was 2 or 3 of them standing, because I always remember one of them was a woman, and she says to them, shh, they can see us, even though we couldn't see them, but mind that be. Yeah. She's like, shh, they can see us. So that showed you that she was talking to somebody.
Right. What was it? My friend Faye, she has a recording when her and I were just talking to each other, trying to, because we hadn't memorized the USS Hornet yet. So we were trying to remember where sick bay was, couldn't remember where it was. And all of a sudden she's listening to her audio again, and it comes back of it's something about it's right there or it's over here. So it wasn't as in it was answering us, it was answering our conversation that we didn't direct to them. So yeah, definitely.
I have 7 recordings here through. I've done 2, and throughout there's a female speaking to a male. So that was quite constant through the whole time.
Now, when you guys go back, or if you guys get a chance to go back, see if that is a constant, then they will have something that's a constant there. But if it only happens at that one time, then it was only meant for that one time. I'm just kind of curious to see if it's going to happen again.
Well, that's why we done it Monday night, and that's why we weren't planning on going back, but because it was such a good night Monday, we says to Laura, Sarah, Rose, and whatever, I'd like to get back and see if we can replicate, see what results we get this time. And we got a couple of similar results at the first part of the cup. was when we went to the rear of the cup. It's the one area in the cup we always get the most activities down at the Dempster plot. And that's when we got quite a lot of stuff. We also, but I know a lot of people don't like catwalks. They don't like the pods, they like K2s. But and we were lucky enough that everything that happened with Coral, it was on the live. But we had the K2 on the headstone, and with a couple of catwalks on the ground, about 3-4 feet away, maybe 2-3 feet away, and then we had the REM pod after that. And we're sure we got a little girl there called Christina Dempster. And I says to her, if you hear, can you step away from that black box and come over towards me? And just then the K2 died and the cat balls and the red pod went off.
Well, that's actually that's a good thing.
You know,
What happened?
so, I mean, that shows to me that she was there, she was listening, and she understood what I said, and she did as I asked her. Now, some people might laugh at that. I don't care. I'm just telling you what happened. You know.
No, definitely. I would say that most experiences, unfortunately, those that involve moving objects, always seem to happen when I turn the camera off. I try to get film. That's the dogs.
That sounded like a parrot or something.
That's the dogs. That's the dogs.
Right, I thought you'd a bird.
Nope, that's the dogs. That's Maui going, telling her sister that she wants to play and the other one doesn't want to play. So that's them. Yeah, that's a daily basis.
Good. I know you said about you turn the camera off.
Mm-hmm. There are things that I have witnessed myself, even with Faye, other people I have gone on investigations with, even with my husband. It's, will you two knock it off? Bloody hell. Anyway, even with my husband, there's been things that have moved that as soon as we were recording or we're stopped taking pictures, all of a sudden, then something moves. I'm like, are you kidding me? Every blasted time. It's like, okay. So we've tried the whole, okay, we act like we're turning it off, put it down, it's still rolling. No, nothing happens. Go over, actually turn it off, then something happens. I'm like, I think they like to do that on purpose.
Well, you try and fool them. I honestly think they believe you.
Yeah, because it would be more interesting to go, okay, this opened on its own, and I would like to have a video of like, hey, I'm trying to debunk this. It opened on its own, and then it won't do it while I'm trying to show them, well, in the video camera. No, it does it after. And this happened, even my friend Faye can tell you that this happened on the Hornet. It happened several times where a door would open on its own, and then their backs were to it, and then they tried to film it. We closed it so tight. We had a hard time reopening the damn thing. And so we're trying to open it. And as soon as they stop videotaping it, they turn around videoing everything else. The door opens. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So that
happens. It's remarkable how often that it's happened to us numerous times,
Right. Don't you find that kind of annoying?
It's very annoying because it's annoying to one aspect that maybe that was the only bit of evidence you were going to get all night.
Right.
That was the only thing they were going to do or was going to happen. And you've no got it on camera.
Right. Or there's several times where I've seen a full body apparition just standing there, and a person is, they're doing the whole video like this. And so as soon, I'm seeing it, but when they come back, all of a sudden it disappears by the time the camera comes over. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what the hell? Come on. And I honestly think they're doing that on purpose to me. And I'm like, you guys they're a bunch of jokesters.
I've asked this question before. Do spirit have the capacity to, keep learning? And of course they do. Because they're still human. you know, there's still people in I think the first time that happened to us was at Caldwell. The first time we put a locked off camera in the corner of the stairwell and we switched it on. And we were reviewing the footage. We got a lot of activity that night. But I was looking at the footage the next day and the camera turned off but after about 6.5, 7 minutes, something like that. Now the battery wasn't dead. There was still plenty of battery left in it. And I was also recording on my phone. And you can see with my recording, you can see the tripod where the camera was. Nobody went near that camera, but the camera switched. And then I started to think, well, wait a minute. It was roughly about that time that things started to happen. You know, maybe 7 or 8 minutes in, things started to happen. And so Sarah says to me, are you sure you press, you know, record? I said, well, because we've got about 6.5 minutes or something. And then it just goes off. And then bits and pieces started happening. Luckily, I caught on my phone. So and it's happened. I think it happened at the house to us. It happened in the vaults as well. That they just turned herself off. And I think Spirit watches and, you know, learns how to use cameras and stuff, you know, watches what we do. Well, that's how we turn that off. Some people might think it sounds nuts, but who's to say it is nuts?
Right. Exactly.
Who's to say you don't have some guy standing there in spirit and he's watching it? Well, right, well, that's how I turn that off. So I'll turn that off and then I'll do something. You know, they could do it because they don't like the scene, or just to take the.
Or if I don't have my recorder going. I've had this happen with my husband John. We were at the Washoe Club in Nevada, and we were just going up the stairs, and I was having problems getting my recorder going, and I'm stopping at the bottom of the stairs. We're going to the 3rd floor. It's just that there's only me and one other guy showing us the area, and all of a sudden a stone comes out of nowhere and is thrown at John. It actually hits him, and he's like, "What the?" He's like, "What'd you do that for?" I'm down at the bottom going, "Do what?" As I'm fiddling with my stuff. I'm like, "You just threw a rock at me. Why would I throw a rock at you?"
Laura said, I actually never thought it till she put it up there. See, we've done London, I don't know, well over double figures with London, and there's always a good signal there. We never have anybody said when we went with Cat, we tried to do a hook up with Cat and Will, and I'm going to get this wrong. Idaho? Who's next door to you?
It's
Idaho.
They're in Iowa.
Iowa's further away.
I always get the two of them mixed up.
Adventure.
I'm sure they're next door to you. But I always get Iowa.
I do have friends acquaintances in Iowa. But
so what makes an acquaintance different for a friend?
I find a person who I've done stuff with, or I've done other things with the paranormal whatevers, but we never really chatted outside of that, so I consider that an acquaintance versus a friend.
Right, got you now. But Loudon, we've never had any bother with it. Brilliant for signal. We tried to do the hook up with Cat and Will a couple of years ago through StreamYard, and we just couldn't get it to work. We tried for 3 or 4 times, and we gave up because this wasn't happening. But Monday night and last night, we had it kept coming up slow connection on the live. But we've never happened. That's never ever happened to us at Loudon.
Interesting.
Before.
I wonder why then.
And nothing's changed. You know, nothing's Loudon's in the middle of nowhere.
You say nothing's changed, but in order for that never to happen before, that means something has changed.
No, what I mean is, when I say nothing's changed, I mean in the countryside, they'll look at a mobile tower up.
Something has changed.
Nothing's physically changed.
Not that you are aware of, no.
You know, if they stuck a mobile phone mast next to it or whatever, then they say, well, that wasn't here before, so possibly that's interfering with it. But nothing physically has changed. So
Right,
is it
but-
spiritually?
Something has changed, regardless.
I know something's changed, but what I'm saying is it
But
spiritually?
nothing physically. Nothing
Physically.
nothing that you can debunk.
No, but that was Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Friday night slow connection, and it's never. And I actually never thought it because I kept saying during the lives the slow connection, but I don't think anything there. But
Yeah, and when that happens, it's usually something has a lot of pull on everything. And they don't care. They'll drain things. They'll send it off that, or sometimes they'll give you too much energy and then you have too much. That's always fun.
I don't think that's happened to us yet. So it's been a weird week at Loud. It's been a good week.
No,
You know.
I've watched. I've been following you guys all week while I'm at work. I see all your pictures and I try to sneak on my breaks and go and try to watch what you're doing. But
Hey, well, my speech is away tonight, isn't it? Hey, Wild Bill. Sorry, buddy. Good evening, sir. There, that's it.
There you go. Well, you can't say Wild Bill.
Wild, no,
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill. That's
There
it.
you
It's
go.
just, I couldn't get the words out there.
That's okay.
No.
I know. When I finally get over to Scotland, you guys are going to give us go. Hey, try to pronounce this. Hey, try to pronounce that.
Oh, you're going to get it. You're going to get it.
Fail miserably.
You're going to get it. I went into yesterday morning. We've got a wee local baker shop that Sarah and I use. Bill's from Atlanta, Georgia. How far is that for you? About 3 days.
Atlanta, Georgia is okay. Oregon, Atlanta, Georgia. That's more. You know what? I'm going to find out. I have my phone.
I'm always curious because I think everything's next door to each other, and I think no, because America's like half the world.
I will say that where I'm in Oregon, I'm definitely able to get to places in Washington better, Idaho, Montana quicker. Oh, and to the top of Nevada easier.
You're on the East Coast.
Yeah, he's on the East Coast. It's above Florida. It's actually the capital of. I know, me and my capitals. I know my capitals. That's kind of scary.
Washington. Southeast.
Hold on. I am going to get. Okay, come on. How far are you? Finding best route. What? My phone is trying to say finding best route. 3 days. If I go by.
That's what I said. That's in 3 days.
Hold on. 37 hours if I take a car, 3 days if I take a train, 38 days if I walk, and 10 days if I bicycle.
I wouldn't walk.
So by car is 1 day and 13 hours.
Atlanta is the capital of Georgia.
Yeah, is the capital of Georgia. See?
After you just said one capital, that was Washington.
No, every state has a capital. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States.
State capital, right? So that's the state
the capital of Oregon is Salem. The capital of California is Sacramento. But the capital of the United States, or at least the home part that all the government is part of, is Washington, D.C. Atlanta is the capital of Georgia. Tallahassee is the capital of Florida.
Scotland's just got one capital, that's it. One. You see, it's a lot easier. Just have one. England's got one, Edinburgh, and that's it. I forgot what I was saying there.
Every state, so 50 states, that means 50 capitals.
Talking about distance and that was something else that happened last night. It was really weird news. I say the Dempsters worked on a farm, owned a farm, and so I said to them, "Can you tell me what the nearest farm to you was when you lived here?" And it came up 10 miles east
10 miles
through the Necrophonic. So we were trying to work 10 miles east for London. But Sarah Googled it, and there was a lot of farms in that area. They lived in Loudon, it's next to a village called Galston, but there's a lot of farms in that area. So I started thinking, well, is he meaning that That was the nearest farm they did business with.
We're back to accents again.
And is that no offence, sir, but no, it's not a Northern Scottish accent. This is a Glaswegian accent to Central Scotland.
Yeah, not
This is
quite
the
northern.
best.
Northern Scottish is way thicker.
I know. I'm from Central Scotland. I'm from Glasgow. It was the best part of Scotland, actually. Which don't tell them up there. Don't tell Liam. He's the Liam, the Highland Paranoia. They're from Inverness. Great guy if he watches it. Love you, Liam, but our accent's better. Right. Glasgow, yeah. That's where my accent's from. But I found that strange as well that it said 10 miles. So I started thinking, well, maybe that's the farm they did business with. Or, you know.
But you said it was 10 miles east, right? So now you need something to cross-reference. You need a cross-reference so you can get the
Well,
X.
that's what we were trying to do. Where would it be?
What?
10 miles east of Loudon.
That would be.
Is it directly east or is it east as the crow flies?
New Mills. A village called New Mills. So New Mills would be directly east when it was Edinburgh.
Yeah, so
Is
that's what you
Edinburgh
need to find
east?
out. You need to find out when they said east, do they mean directly east? Do they mean a little east, east, northwest, not northwest, north or whatever, where there's your cardinal signs, you have all this going through. So you have your east, and then you have your northeast, you have your southeast, you have your
It's like the east of Scotland. You've got Edinburgh, you've got Fife, you've got Aberdeenshire.
right.
You know, that's all the kind of east of Scotland.
Right.
Not Glasgow's not in the. It's all right. Not your bad, buddy. Glasgow's not in the north. Glasgow's in the centre of Scotland. I could have made that to say Fife, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Dundee. They're on the east side of. But it's just when they say 10 miles east. I thought, well, we've never had that out the neck of 40 before.
Okay. Yeah, no, Wild Barrel is right. It's the I don't care if you're on the West Coast, East Coast, or whatever. If we say east, it does mean it's towards the east, but that's a large section. It's that way. It's toward the east. And they're like, well, what part of east? Yeah, toward the east.
No, I totally get what you mean. Yeah, right. It's just when it came through the app. When it came through the app, I immediately started thinking, right, well, what would be 10 miles? So you're standing in the cup card and you're trying to work out which way is east. Right? East is that way, you know.
Right, no, he's doing what I did to you. Northeast, southeast.
It was east. And it was right that way.
Yeah, that way. Just say it's over the hill and far away.
10 miles that way, so it could have been anywhere kind of up and down. Now, well, he's getting more complicated. He would have down the States after that.
Good luck.
This is when I'm glad Scotland's just a wee country. You know.
I know. Every time he's like, can you get to here? And I'm like, you do realize it's like a 2-day trip from where I'm at. Can you get here? That's another 24 hours for me.
Well, I know I've done that quite a lot, and you know, how many hours?
You did that when I lived in California. I'm like, I'm in Northern Cal, and you were like, well, can you get down to the San Diego area? And I'm like, yeah, like in 10 hours.
But that's it, you know. You say if somebody say, you know, like David Espinosa and that, they live in California. So if you live in California,
I did Northern Cal, yeah.
I'd be like that. Well, they're quite near each other in California. How big can it be? You know, but
I know every time it's like, no, I'd love to get to that haunted place, but it's this many hours away from me.
next they'll be putting streets.
Oh, that's true. Counties, cities, and towns. Yep.
So we went from east of us towards east, then northeast and southeast, then
Yes.
cities, towns.
Because that's how you narrow it down. So when you're going east, and now you have to narrow it down to a precise location.
You know what's coming next, don't you? I think I know who's going to put next. you know, I was the same. I so that was quite bad for that, thinking, oh, California, they're in the same bit. You know, they're
Well,
in the
no,
same
just think about it.
parts.
When you ask a ghost or a spirit or whatever is out there directions, they get a little cocky sometimes, and they'll just tell you a direction and not give you anything else.
Toby getting cocky again last night with the sheep answer. There we go. Streets, avenues, lanes.
Now he's taking it one a little further than I would, but that's awesome.
There's one more way. There's one more step you can take it, Bill. There's another one you can say. There's no doubt. I actually thought you were going to do the one I'm thinking of next. The sheep came up. The sheep thing answer came through a few times, but then there it's there. Address. That's what I was going to say. You know, so that's quite a breakdown. All we need is a house number, you know, or the person, the name of the person that lives there, and that's it.
Anyway, so ghosts get cocky. Obviously, you have some pretty spiraling cocky ghosts yourself over there in Scotland. So,
I mean, they kept going. Somebody in the background was going bah. Now it's going to sound nuts. We did. It is on the live, the whole thick investigation, so you can hear it if you watch it. We kept getting bah through the necrophonic.
So it would sound like they're just making fun of you guys.
Exactly. So, you know, we don't know who it was. And we heard a couple of voices. We heard twigs snapping. Now, I granted that it could be wildlife, but the thing about Loudon is you don't get a lot. We've never actually seen wildlife inside the yard. Oh, there we go.
No.
You know what we learned? And what have we learned today? That the Yanks really know how to screw up directions and make it hard. Why you do? Zip codes as well. Is that a zip code you have got?
I guess, yeah, no, I find that hilarious. Sorry.
Is it zip codes you use?
Zip codes can help narrow it down because one city can have at least, depending on the size, can have like 3 or 4 zip codes.
I see that. So you guys, we call it a postcode.
Where I used to live, a city across the way had 3 zip codes.
Well, we've got. I don't know. I mean, we've got.
Yeah, but now I live in a town, a city that only has one. Thankfully, 1 zip code.
Well, Glasgow's got about 40 something. No, it's more than 50. Because I used to live in Glasgow's G1.
Sorry, my dog is trying to tenderize me. She's licking me to death.
Oh, Toby, the cat does that to me in the hand. You think, oh no, go away.
No, stop. She's underneath the table looking at me going, but I want to lick your hand. Oy.
Is that what she said?
That's what she's saying with her eyes.
No. That's been exhausting me. Did she actually say, I want to lick your hand? Did she? Zip code's narrowed down to an area. 4 other numbers after that. I'm trying to read that. Zip code narrows it down to an area, but after the zip code, there's 4 other numbers after it.
Oh, that's right. We do have that as well.
Right.
So maybe an area has 3 different zip codes, and then each of those zip codes might have extra numbers per zip code. Yeah.
That's what we've got. Like, so we're KA1, and then it's a 3 US. It's the 3 US that locates your house, kind of thing. I forgot what I was talking about there.
We were talking about the sheep.
Aye, so we kept getting the bar thing through, and we got like twigs snapping. I mean, it could be wildlife, but we've never ever seen any wildlife inside the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And all the times we've been there, I heard a male voice. It was a one word, but it was that quick. I never think, I don't know what the word was, but it was in real time to my right. We went hunting. There was nobody else there, but that's what I definitely. We heard footsteps as well. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
Oh,
it's funny. We're just Scott and I are just catching up. He's telling me about things that they were just doing. You're good. This is just idle chit chat. We're not really.
we don't have a topic, buddy. We're just sitting, shooting the breeze, as you Americans would say.
Certain Americans do say, well, they say a lot more than that, but.
Where does that actually originate from, shooting the breeze?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're American, you should know.
Doesn't know. Does not mean I know. No.
So does that mean you just fire the guns into the air, shooting the breeze?
I can look at my cliche books in the other room.
I thought you were Googling it.
I'm Googling it now. Okay,
Shite.
maybe. My phone is acting funny.
No, is that the spirits?
There we go. Shooting the breeze origin is 20th century America. The term breeze was used as a slang term for rumors or gossip. That's all it says. It doesn't say exactly where. So it's relatively new. It's not old. Oh, but I do use that. I do use down the rabbit hole a lot.
She does do that. It's one of Jennifer's favourite sayings, down the rabbit hole.
Always. Or the proverbial rabbit hole. Mm-hmm.
No, you just. Well, I'm for Glasgow. We're going to keep it plain and simple. You know, these big fancy words.
No, it's
I've totally lost track of what we were talking about. It's gone. It's out that door behind me. Totally gone. But follow the white rabbit.
Oh yeah, poor little white rabbit.
What does that mean?
I never felt sorry for him. Never felt sorry for the white rabbit ever. Follow the white rabbit.
Alice in Wonderland.
When you tell someone to follow the white rabbit, that means you better follow it, or you're going to get lost.
Right, go. Through me a wee set. It's been a long week, and
there's a lot of people, at least in the United States, that do use Alice in Wonderland references a lot, and also uses Wizard of Oz references a lot when we're referring to stuff.
I relate with the Mad Hatter.
What you put? Oh well, hopefully you didn't put mercury in your hat.
We've got sayings over here, but you know what? See, for all I can't remember any of them because I think we use them that often and we use them every day. Do you forget them? Does that make sense? You forget you're saying them.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I've got a bad habit. I've done it for years. I think Sarah pointed it out to me. I said, you know what I mean. Yeah. I say that quite a bit. I think
this actually leads to an interesting segue on investigations. Sometimes I will use cliches to attempt to get someone to say something, and I'll tell them a penny for your thoughts, and I have gotten responses in that matter.
Well, I think you need to do that investigation. Something if you come up with an idea or something you've not done before. Last night,
and I have. He's saying of the March Hare, and I'm like, that recalls an investigation where I was getting so mad, and the ghost was being so snarky, and I'm thinking, God damn it, you're as mad as a March Hare, and the next thing I get is a little laugh after that. I'm like, oh, of course.
Cheers, Bill. Nice talking to you, buddy. You have a good day. Sometimes if you try something different, you get a lot of response. But last night, I got to Emery tuned into her live, and just saw I was trying to do a Scottish jig inside the burial plot, and my way of thinking was with a child there, we were also doing hopscotch. Remember the game hopscotch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that game.
I tried doing that because I said, you try to put yourself in the mindset of a child. You've got a child here, and so if you're going to sort of dance and jump about, that's what kids do. So is she going to relate to you more and feel more comfortable and come forward. Same as hopscotch. We tried having a race. We put 2 cat balls in the wall, and Laura stood back a wee bit, and I says, we're going to have a race, see if you can touch the cat ball before Laura, and I'll count to 3, and then you go. And so Laura, see if you can beat Laura if you're faster. And we tried it 3 times. It didn't work, but we're going to keep trying it because
My favorite one to try is Duck Duck Goose. That one's a fun one to do.
No idea what that is.
It's more of an American thing. You sit in a circle. One person goes around touching the top of everyone's heads and says duck, duck, duck. And then finally you say goose on one person. They have to get up and chase you. Well, the idea is get the ghosts to play with you, where they're going to go through where you're going to feel something on your head and it's not a person that's alive. The idea is that you're trying to get them to play. We've done Duck Duck Goose and had success. Ring Around the Rosie and had success. Singing nursery rhymes. Those seem to work a lot.
We used to do Duck Duck Goose. We used to do that over here when I was a kid. I was called that, but you went round, you sit in a big circle, and you try, and then someone had to go up and catch. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember doing that when I was younger.
Yeah, we call it Duck Duck Goose, and I think there's certain places in the United States that call it something different, but I have no idea what they call it. Not a clue.
That's when I know. We used to play in the Scouts. I was in the Scouts as well. Used to play in the Scouts.
But I think, right. I think when you're saying you're trying to do things to get a child involved, I think the best one I did. Now that footage is now missing. Of course the footage is missing. Where I had footage of, so I did not record it. It was somebody else who was on the team who had recorded it. And I'm singing I'm a Little Teapot. And I get this halfway through, I stop and I'm like, I can sing it again. And all of a sudden, when they were playing it back, we can hear a little girl responding to me singing it. And I just felt the need. Oh, I'm going to sing it again. I'm like, I'll sing it again. And then we hear yes, please, or something. I can't remember what it was, but we had the footage, and now that footage has mysteriously disappeared. And it was like, damn, it was really good footage too.
But it's just gone.
It's gone. I'm going on. It was on one of our or my old team. Was on the YouTube page, but then we had our YouTube. It was either crashed or I don't know what happened to it, or someone may have hacked it. Anyway, so the original footage was by a prior member, and that member, I don't think has the original footage herself anymore. So I'm trying to find a copy in all my mess, and I have all these digital copies, and I'm going through going, okay, I need to find it. I can't find it.
I'll be there somewhere. I will be there somewhere, but I think you're going to try that approach at Loudon a bit more.
Good. Try a song that was common during that era.
Well, that's why it was actually Sarah who told the marbles. Is last year we took a wee toy train and a wee small kind of doll angel, a doll thing, and we got a result with that last year. So we were trying to think of something that was, they would have used during the the 1800s. And it was Sarah who suggested the marbles. I thought, I will.
Right, and you should. I think when you go back with the marble thing, actually get a bag of marbles and then have 2 of you play a game and see if something happens.
Well, we're still to do. We left marbles at the car. We left marbles in the barn.
Right,
so we're going to try. We can try that in the barn.
I would say set it up as in the play a game. Then let it sit and see if anything happens. It's worth a try.
That's the thing about investigating, Jerry. You know yourself all too well. You come up with ideas, and they might sound stupid. They might sound daft. Folk might say, "Oh, never work," but well, you're going to try it anyway.
Well, I'm willing to try anything. I mean, the one thing we haven't done yet is a cross the pond ideas. We haven't done that yet because we just haven't had time. That would be kind of cool if it happens. But but with me, I've been doing a lot of mine have been outdoor investigations because well, there's a lot of history there. And some of the indoor ones are harder to get to because, well, some people just don't want to have people tramping around. I'm like, oh, you advertise you have ghosts, but you don't want someone
You
investigating.
don't want us near you.
I'm like, what the heck? But I'm hoping that this summer I have a couple on that I can get into, so we'll see. But
That across the pond thing, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We have talked about it across the pond. We've talked about it at a certain time where I would say something. I would actually make sure it's recorded, so that way, at that time when it's happening, we'll see if it actually happens over where you are or vice versa.
So why I'm going to write that.
You can write it down this time.
I'm going to write it down. No, I got a notepad. Phantom Seekers Paranormal, Ivy Island, where we met up on Wednesday when we went to Edinburgh. And we also got one for Highland Paranormal, but I think Sarah stole that one off me.
But yeah, it's just an idea. I mean, this is happened. We've had there has been success from state to state or from East Coast to West Coast. One, because we're all on the same continent. But I don't know. I'd have to look. I would have to do some research to see if anyone has actually successfully done something across an ocean.
I know we'd call it in another. So why do we look at that for April?
We could definitely try something in April.
Because we're in Manic March. We are
in March. Oh, the last week of March. That's when our school has spring break.
Spring break. That's dead American.
We have an entire week off, and I just hope that it's not going to be horrible weather because there's places I want to go on my week off.
Right. Rosie's saying they did that with Brian Laffey. He's in Canada, and there's some great results with Spirit Box. So,
well, right. I mean,
we can look at doing that in April because we're starting Wallacefield this month as well.
I love it. I mean, I get the idea of Spirit Box, but if I would rather if something were tangible to be on video or on a recorder versus on a Spirit Box or on the app that you have on your phone. If I would find it more tangible. That's just me. Because I would have I would have a harder time debunking it if it weren't on those things.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm glad that Monday and Friday night we done it as lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything's
there, right?
You know, I mean, you know as well. You get, I could say to Tom, Dick, and Harry, whatever. You know, we go the word sheep. We go my surname. We go X, Y, and Z.
Right.
No, I don't believe you. Whereas if it's caught on a live, say, well, there you go. Watch that live. Watch that, and you'll see what I'm. You know, and it's there, and it shows them what happened when it happened.
Right.
I think that makes sense. I know what I mean.
No, it's just the last thing I did was out in the middle of nowhere. That's about 15 minutes from here. So, but it's been hard to get out because of the weather. The weather has been nasty. It's been horrible.
The weather being good. We're hoping that the weather's starting to pick up a wee bit. Usually around about March time, it starts to kind of, you know, we had great weather last week with Rosie being here, but so we're hoping maybe that continues, you know. We did the Gangsfield with Brian asking questions, was personally to him on our live. Definitely do it, will be awesome. So we can do that, we can look at that in April. Because at this month we're just gonna
we can see where that can go. I will say that the last place I was in a graveyard out it's a pioneer graveyard started, and then it's also a continuing active graveyard as long as you have relatives that are buried there. Anyway, that's the first graveyard I've ever been in that I felt had no presence at all. It was just oh, this is nice. Everything it's a very nice feeling, but nothing as in being watched. No, I didn't feel like anything was there. It was weird. It was beyond weird.
As a weird feel, we had that at Alloway Cup. We took Rory Andrew to Alloway Cup. We did that one night. We'd done a castle beforehand. It started raining, so we thought, right, we'll head to Alloway. And as soon as we walked in, we thought we called it flat. So it's just
Right.
you know,
It's like there's just nothing. There's nothing bad, nothing good. It's just there.
and I think we lasted about 15 minutes, something like that, and everybody just thought, you know what, let's go home.
But like a good investigator, I did have my recorder going, and I have yet to go over all of it. It's still over there by the computer. I have yet to plug it in.
You've no listened to it yet?
I know it's an hour's worth of recording. An hour's worth of recording is like 5 hours worth of review or more.
Oh, I know. I was saying that to Rosie yesterday. I thought today, yesterday, something like that. When we did that train station last year, I think Laura it was either 20 or 28 recordings. And it took us most of the week, or during the day when the wee one was at school. Most of the week, I just sitting there listening, and your soul disappears, your soul leaves the house, you know, and come 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're just sitting there like a zombie because all you've done is listen and listen.
Right.
We got bits and pieces, but so I know exactly what you mean. But,
yeah,
your life just disappears.
But I will say that as much as we did, we took a lot of pictures. I still have some more. I have more pictures I have to download. Got to listen. As I said, like a good investigator, I need to listen to my audio. But when we went to the historic orchard, or we found correction, one area has a marker that says that it is a historic orchard. We found the other orchard, which isn't on the map, but we figured out where it was. Found it. That place was weird feeling. So going to be going back to there.
Do you think maybe sometimes you go to a place, I can't remember if you've had a weird feeling, we've had we'll do one weird feeling at Canongate Kirk. It wasn't negative or anything, but I was watching the recordings for last night. The Canongate Kirk, it was a feeling like we weren't wanted. It wasn't negative or demonic or anything like that crap. It was just you're not wanted here. It was just that kind of feeling. I can't remember getting into any other place and having feeling weird. But I'm probably wrong. We probably have enough forgotten. But when you see weird feeling, do you think that's maybe because there's different kind of spirits there that they're bouncing off each other?
I think the weird feeling is because it's not just bouncing off of each other. I think that the land absorbs the energy that was ever there. So whether or not it's residual, or I'm not sure, I just know that the energy is there. And it wasn't just the people the homesteaders. You also have to remember that the history of the natives who used to be on that land before the homesteaders came. And they also had a lot of legends of the area that they still believe in today exist, certain ghosts and whatnot that might be in the area where this orchard is, where this homesteader is. It's interesting. You feel at peace, but then you feel like, oh, I don't want to go over that way, but I want to go there. It's very it turns you around, and luckily for us, our GPS was working, so we knew where to go. But there's a lot of places that we want to go back to because it was too muddy and too much snow that we want to actually hike into to find, because something was saying, even John was saying, there's more. He's all, there's more. There's got to be more. He's all, it's just weird that this is just dead ends here. And I said, well, we can come back. He's all, what is your gut telling you? He says. I said, we need to come back. So yeah.
But then you see, is that your gut, or is that spirit telling you to come back?
Both. Most of the time it's my gut, and I rely on my gut a lot, and my gut is very rarely wrong. If it's a spirit, it's not my gut that it feels. If it's a spirit, it's more of a, I get this, I don't know how to explain it, because it's not a vision. It's just a feeling that comes across. But not my gut. My gut's a different feeling. That's down below. That's literally in my gut area. And I feel certain things in my gut, and I trust my gut. But no, spirit is different.
I know what you mean. It's just you can't describe it. It's a feeling you get. I've had it a couple of times at investigations with, again, Loud and Cut at the Dempster plot. I was standing in the back corner one night. I got Rosie standing there last night, and Laura as well. And I just knew that there was a male standing behind me. I couldn't see him or nothing,
Right.
And I couldn't see him up here. I just and I said, there's somebody standing there, and you turn around expecting to see this person, but also there's nobody there. But I just knew he was there.
Right. No, I totally understand. There is another homestead that we were with about a year. Actually, we've gone to 3 times, and that's not the hotel. That one, I think that's going to end up being more of a historical moot point, because too many people have been going there lately, and because it's open to the public and anyone can go. So I might just finish that out and go, okay, and be done with it. But there's a place that no one really knows about, because they have to be able to go on back roads to get there. And anyway, so John and I are probably going to go there again, and we're going to take some sifters, and we're going to go through and do some excavations and have a recorder going and see what happens, because every time we've gone, things have fallen down, and we weren't investigating, just things were happening, and we weren't even there to investigate. So now we want to go back and do a proper investigation. And because we found old stuff that had been buried in the ground, had been like over years, had just, because water or whatever runs over. So yeah, it's one of those things like, okay, that one area I can tell you for a fact that not just John wants to go back, and that's like, wait, you want to go back? Okay, cool, awesome.
If he wants to get back, then go back.
Yeah.
Get back there.
Well, yeah, this one is literally like maybe 12, 13 minutes from our house. But when you're there and you look out, you're like, you can't see our town from where this place is. You can see sort of out to towards some of the others, but you can't see anything. It's just hills after hills after hills. And it's on BLM land, so it is public. You can get there, but most people probably don't realize it's there. We found it by accident.
There's some places with that in Scotland. I mean, Loudon sits off the main road. You would never know it was there unless you know it's there, It's with 10 minutes for us. But again, same as yourself, you can't see our town for Loudon, even though it's a 10-minute drive. Right. Caldwell was like that. I mean, Caldwell was a 280-acre estate, but there's only one small gate that takes you into it. And I drove by it countless times before until we found out I was there. And once you get through the gate, it just opens up. There's, I don't know, 6 or 7 abandoned houses, including the main mansion, and there's ground.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know it's there. You would just
that's a lot. Yeah, here in Oregon, there's a lot of that. Also, there's some places like that in Washington as well. You will not find a lot of these in California, unfortunately, because too much is actually on private land. Where up here in Oregon, there's a lot of land that is public or access to public, because a lot of people like to go off-roading. They like to go out and just go out into the wilderness. But when I go out to the wilderness, I'm not just looking for, I'm not looking for a trail. I'm not looking for more trees. I'm going to see it. Can I find an old homestead? Am I going to find part of history? And that's that's what I've been doing lately.
See, we don't have private land in Scotland. We've got it's called the free to roam law in Scotland. So England, there is private land. I don't know what the situation is with Ireland, but in Scotland, we can go anywhere. And if somebody, says go off that this is private land, you can tell them basically to beef off because there's nothing you can do because all
Right.
the land's free in Scotland. So we're quite fortunate that way.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely fortunate, and it just allows for you guys to get to more places. As I said, coming up into Oregon has definitely opened that door to that type of possibility. When in California, where I lived, you either had to know somebody to get on somewhere. Yeah, you could not just walk anywhere. You couldn't. And that is majority of California. Here in Oregon, it seems like, oh no, I've heard this place, go that way and go up and you'll find. I'm like, oh, thank you, awesome.
No, here, I mean, there is the states over here that you're not in Scotland, like say the royal residencies, you know, Balmoral Castle, stuff like that. It's Gardaí Bar Police, so you kind of stay away from them, you know.
That makes sense.
But like I say, Caldwell, there's people actually live on the estate, but they can't kick you off. You know?
Okay. Now that you say it that way, there is one or a couple of places I can't go without permission. I wish I could. Actually, no, I probably could. I have to ask the elders. The reservations. There's some land out on that's not far from me. I know a couple of people. I just have to get permission to go on there because it is on tribal land.
I suppose that's because obviously I'm not an expert on it, but I would imagine that's a whole different kind of, you know, law and other legal.
Yeah, it is a
stuff
different
about
law.
it.
Everything is, yeah, it's different everything. I mean, I can go there. There's stuff I can go and do there, but some of the places I would like to go are on tribal land, and you have to get a what's it called? You have to get a permit, and then they have to be approved by the tribal council.
Is that more a legal thing or a respect thing?
I think you're going to get both answers on that one, as in a yes and a yes, depending on who you ask.
You obviously, if it's tribal land, I'm surmising there's going to be burial grounds, and you know.
Just recently, I found out that the mountain that's I can see from my house, but I know it's definitely far away. It's, you know, technically a volcano. I just recently learned its native name. I did not know it until 2 days, yesterday or a day ago. So instead of Mount Jefferson, they call it. I'm probably going to butcher it because I probably don't have the right pronunciation, but it's Seequaqua or Qua. So it's Seekseequa. I think it's Seequaqua or something like that. Anyway, that's the name of the mountain, and I didn't know what its native name was until just recently. And I do apologize to anyone who might be watching this. I did not mean to butcher the pronunciation, but I will find out how to pronounce that. I promise.
Is that? Oh no, I'm thinking is it Rushmore? Mount with all the faces on it.
That's Rushmore.
That's Rushmore. Mount Jefferson.
That is nowhere near me. No, Mount Jefferson is a volcano.
Right, shows you my knowledge of American geographical. They're a fancy word for me.
Well, near is relevant, I should say, within a few hours of one volcano. I live within 2 hours of another, and I live within an hour distance, maybe or two of three, and maybe another 2.5 hours of another volcano.
You see, to get from one side of Scotland to the other would take you about an hour and a half.
All you have to do is go on the map, look at Google, go to Oregon, and you're going to get on there. You're going to look at Mount Jefferson, and then you're going to see Mount Hood, Mount Jefferson, the Three Sisters, and Bachelor, and every single last one of those are volcanoes.
Right. I think, did we know this? One of the shows we did once, we looked you could fit the United Kingdom into part of Oregon.
Probably. I don't know.
It was one of these shows where I was saying to you, you know, how many hours would it take you to get to A and B, and then I think we looked at the map or something, and you says you could fit the United Kingdom into Oregon. Makes us feel big, doesn't it? You know.
I'm looking. Oh, that can. Wow, really? That's small. This can't be right. That's what they're showing on there. And I'm over. Hold on. This is California. I'm in Oregon. So they're saying
there you go. There's the United Kingdom. We're at this. I think we're at the thinnest bit of the country.
I don't know. I've never really compared it to. Okay, hold on. Map on. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. Maybe not. Oh, come on. No. Now it's not doing it right. Oh, it won't do it. No. It left out a word. There it goes.
Night, Rosie doll. You get to bed. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh yeah.
She was during the week there when we were in the car a few times.
I can't
sitting in the back seat falling asleep.
Oh well, I'll have to find it later. I can't find it.
Well, Britain's United Kingdom's small anyway, that size compared to America. That you're kind of like that, you know.
Well, there's 50 states, and the smallest state is Rhode Island.
And about 200 capitals.
50 capitals.
Right,
I don't know. I don't know how many cities.
The 200 was a joke, but I think we'll wind up there, though, because that's over an hour and a half we've been on, and it's getting late here. Obviously, it's mid-afternoon for you. For you there.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking for something and I couldn't find it. I was trying to get a perspective of Rhode Island versus the UK, and now I can't find that either. Of course not. Anyway.
No, the UK.
No, you guys are getting late there. It's later. It's. Hold on. What? It's 10:37 over where you're at.
Aye.
It's only 2:37 in the afternoon where I'm at.
I know. So what's coming next week? PIH USA. Sounds quite posh. That sounds like small. PIH USA. No,
it's last. Because if I put in, paranormal and history,
I know about that, and
partnered with you. Oh, good Lord! You know how long that would take to
no, that title was totally fine. That's all good.
No, it's trying to make it. I'm like, how do you? Next time I just say PIH and I'll say Oregon.
Whatever floats your boat, whatever fills your bucket.
Floats my what? Wait a minute. Floats your bucket. Whoever says that?
No, whatever. Oh, see, Americans.
It's whatever floats your boat.
That's what I said. Whatever floats your boat or fills your
bucket.
I said whatever floats your boat or fills your bucket.
Oh, fills your bucket. Huh?
Whatever fills your bucket. It's the same thing, fill your boots, fill your bucket.
I don't think everyone has ever told me that one.
Well, there's a new word. Whatever fills your bucket.
Never heard. No, it doesn't mean I never heard it. I cannot recollect where I may have heard it.
Write it down. Whatever fills your bucket.
What? Okay, hold on. Now I have to do it. Of course.
We'll wait till she's finished writing.
No, it says so far that is not one that comes up. I have whatever fills your cup. I've heard that before.
There must be a Glasgow one, and whatever fills your bucket.
Whatever fills your bucket, quote. Okay. There's a quote, how full is your bucket? Whatever fills your cup.
Aye, but that's the thing about Glasgow. Glaswegians will take, like 2 or 3 different sayings, whatever fills your cup, whatever fills, and they'll take a word out of each saying and put it together and make their own saying. So you'll probably not find it in Google.
I am trying to. I do have a book of cliches. I'll see if it's in there, but I don't think so. No, I have other variations, but not that.
No, see, Glaswegians just make their own thing up.
Apparently.
You know, it's whoever fills your bucket, whoever fills your bag. It can be whoever fills your bucket, whoever fills your sink, whoever fills your bag. You know,
I
whatever.
guess so, because it's wow. No, I have how full is your bucket?
Aye, no, I've heard that one. You know, but it can be any whoever fills your glove.
No, but I have heard how whatever fills your cup. I have heard however fills your cup, but not the bucket. That's different.
Well, once you go over here, we'll teach you some sayings to take back with you. All right. So, but we'll wind it. We're going to wind it up there, folks. Time's getting on here in sunny UK. It's not sunny UK. It's dark.
Oh, it's dark where
sunny.
you are.
It's dark.
It's dark where you are. No, it's nice and bright and sunny where I'm at. Well,
Okay. Aye, whatever.
Whatever.
So
Wow, are we back in the 90s? Jeez.
I know people still say that. Whatever. You know, the hand always do that. Whatever.
So slang that started in the 90s, and yeah. It kind of started in the 80s, sort of.
I'm too young to remember. Right, I'll wait here before we wind it up. It's my birthday on Wednesday. Hint. No, not dropping any hints. But when Rosie was, I don't know how they work. They go to the subject of ages. And somebody said to Rosie, can you guess what age I am? 47, she said. I was like that. You are my friend. Know what I'm saying? You are my friend for life. 47. So I was 47 last week. This week I'm back to my original age, which I'm not going to disclose. You know, a gentleman never discloses his age, shall we say.
I don't know. My husband quite discloses his age quite often.
Well, Eric, you are my friend. Is that your age, Eric? Or are you guessing mine? Let's see if that's his age or guessing mine.
Okay, just to let you know, this year, John will be 56 years old. That's my husband. I am going to be 48.
You're still a young pup. That's not you. That's Eric. You don't look at. I would put you, Eric. If I would say you're roughly about 37, my friend. So handsome looking man, 52. You know, I'm gonna say my age. You know what I mean? Every year I go back. Every birthday I go back a year. I don't go far. I go back a year. You know, I find that works better than going forward. You know, regular. You know, in my head, I'm like 18, whatever. So what's up next for you, Jennifer? What's happening? What's coming next?
What's coming? Well, as the weather gets better, I'm hoping to get back out to the orchards, and I'm going to try to conclude the Horseman Hotel. That's what I would like to do, because I know that I've hinted at it. I've actually said stuff about it, and I know that people have been interested about it. So I need to conclude that first. Then I'll do probably the orchards and probably head back out to the Redmond lava tubes, since I did get some hits out there. And right now, perfect weather is starting to happen. So yay!
So that's coming through our American side. This lovely lady over here. We start again tomorrow night. We have Paulina back. We're going to be winding up our Glasgow presentation. She's over here in a couple of weeks, so we will be back in Glasgow filming bits and pieces. And Monday night we'll get Nick Muley coming in, and we start filming a Wallace show on the 17th of this month. We finally started. Forgotten Braveheart, buzzing, but really looking forward to doing that. But we get plenty coming up this month from PIH, and I'll be posting everything as normal. Tomorrow night we return to Glasgow, my hometown. You see that? Feel that? The love,
the
love of Glasgow. So we'll wind up here, folks. Thanks very much for coming in, and we hope you enjoyed the rest. I keep thinking this is Sunday.
Not yet. Not for you yet.
Not usually.
It's still Saturday for you, and it's really Saturday for me.
It's really Saturday for you, but no, we usually go on a Sunday. It's always a Sunday you've been on. So that's why I
know.
keep thinking it's Sunday.
I know.
but
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
because I'm usually busy doing something on Saturday. So this is the first Saturday that I've had free.
So it's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. All right, folks. So we're going to wind up there, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow night. So come and join us and learn about my hometown. All right, folks. See you after. Bye. Bye.